So hi everyone, Mani is here. In this video is basically is want to educate you all how can you do a proper talent planning. So yeah, just show you all some flow that you all how you all should do a proper talent planning. So first thing is basically to determine the structure, which you all can determine your structure based on the tiering system that already revised by MC Beyond. Yeah, so what is tiering system is basically the tiering system is based on the number of realization for each of your product. So when you are under that tiering, so we will already help you to define the best structure for you to run your operation in order for you to achieve the goal that you set for your LC. Yeah. So after determining the structure, basically evolve the role. So even though we already have have a concrete structure for every department in every tiers, but sometimes that you have your own LC reality, so it actually need you yourself as a VPPM to actually synergy with others EB to evolve the role that make sure evolve the role by changing a little bit on their job description and having a concrete KPI for your department to support the operation. Yeah. So after you done these two steps, is the time for you to develop a chart, which is yeah, it's just like a typical organization chart that you need for your LC members or even your EB to see how is your organization LC structure look like. And then after that will be adapt to growth, which is more to restructure and talent review. So what is related to restructure and talent review? So if let's say in you already do your talent planning, you already have a concrete structure, but how if let's say that you couldn't recruit enough of members, or there's some members or even team leader that decided to leave your organization. So in if that situation is happen, so you need to adapt to growth, where you need to do the restructure and make sure uh, the JD is being assigned to other team members. So and here talent review is play a very important role, because through talent review actually you can see which member are much more capable, so they can handle much more role that compared to last time, right? So yeah, so after this four step is basically the big picture on how can you do a talent planning. So just show you all another like the thought or process when you are planning your structure. So actually the first thing is about the vision, but the vision is but in current timeline is actually we are planning for next term structure. Yeah, so the thing is for the vision for next term is actually you have to synergy with your LCP elect to know actually what is the vision and what is the focuses that he want to have in each of the product and department. So when you have the vision, so it's really about the first thing is really about your own LC rarity. Yeah, so you are the one that who understand your own LC rarity, and based on your own LC reality, so you will and then you will proceed to the goals that you need the goals that next term want to achieve. And when you have the goals that next term want to achieve, so basically you can refer to the tiering system. Basically is because it's correlated, because tiering system is based on the number of realization, right? So when you have the goals already, and you when you refer a tiering system, actually you already can get a a recommended structure for you to have in your organization. Yeah. So after you know about these two things, it will move to the strategy. For sure that your structure itself, it need to be supported for you to run the strategy, and in order to achieve the goal that you're being set into your department. Yeah. So you need to think like what is the strategy can support you to achieve your goal in every single department. Yeah, so after you know about your LC ready goal and strategy, basically it's the time for you to have the structure to support the strategy. So yeah, and then if you and then we move to the first step, we should determine the structure. So like what I told just now, like structure is basically to is based on your tiering system, and this is how a typical structure will look like in LC. So LCP, and then we have vice president, EB, and then directors and members. Yeah. So but actually EBMD structure is you need to strictly follow the talent planning to according to tiering system. So I will tell you why, because because if let's say your EBMD structure is not aligned with MC, it's very hard for MC to support you by giving you education. And also it's also very hard for MC to determine to design all the section or even consultancy space for the department. So in here that we will more focusing in this page. Actually we will more focusing in how can you design a member structure lor. So but before that, for every structural explanation, actually you can refer to the talent planning tools. And so I will show you that how the talent planning tools look like. So this will be the preface of the talent planning tool. Like you can see every department and is separate based on tiering, and every tiering have their specific structure for you. Yeah, so you can see from here. And then if you want to look up on the explanation video for each structure, actually you can just click on this link. Yeah, it's every video is already uploaded in YouTube. So yeah, here is just some guideline for you to why you need to do talent planning. Yeah, so I will show you like this is how each of the tab look like. Yeah, every structure actually have a very concrete KPI, and then this is the tiering for each department. Yeah, so what is the things that actually you need to do after you already know which tier that which tiering that you are in? So after you identify the tiering, so the things that you need to do is duplicate the structure according to the tiering system into your own LC get master sheet. So how later on I will show you actually what is the exactly call to action that you need to do after you watch this video, right? So yeah, we just proceed. So yeah, again, this is the thought process on planning and structure, but now I will more emphasize on how can you do a proper structure with concrete JDs and KPI for members layer. Yes. Okay, so this is the first thing, like when you are determining the structure for member layer. So this is the how for you to think on how can you design the structure, design the job description that actually can fulfill your LC need. So this is a forwarding for you to when you are determining the structure for front office. So you can see when you are designing their structure and JD, you can base on customer flow, and then you can based on their project structure is more specific to IGV department, and then you can base on the operation timeline. Is because if it's because you need to understand like for example, if you assign attraction toward members A, but after attraction period is end, then the person got nothing to do anymore. So when we are designing JD, we need to look into operation timeline as well. So we need to know after the attraction period is ended, what is the thing that members can do after the attraction period is ended. Yeah, so the fourth thing which is very important where is about members learning and development. So we are here to developing our members. If let's say that your job description is not stretching your member limit and also not giving a challenging task to your members, so your member will not get any learning and development, and it will affect your pipeline as well in the future. So we want to make sure that every of our member having their JD, and at the same time they're having enough learnings and development throughout their journey. Yeah, so after we determine after the how that we determine the structure for our members layer. So of course that there's a special things that here is how can we determine the structure for director layer of back office, and this will only happen for back office. Yeah, I emphasize again, it's only for back office. So how can we really determine the structure for back office, especially for your director layer? Yeah, so for first thing is for PM, of course, is according to your TM process, and for FL, it will be related to your finance standard. Yeah, so of course, the next thing will be Cushing product. Since we are the back office, our main role is to supporting our front office operation. So we need to push our product and providing the aspect in terms of people and also in terms of finance. Yeah, so the third things that you can think of is your functional focuses. So for example that maybe your next term PM, they want to focus in internal com or and also member education cycle. So it might be their director JD that maybe one of them focusing in internal com, another of them focusing in member education cycle. Yeah, so this can be one of the elements that you can think of when you are designing a structure. So the last thing again is your members learning and development. So for example, if you are designing your director of PM structure, but the task, the JD that JD and KPI that the person is handling is more in terms of implementation. Yeah, PA implementation, team center implementation. So just imagine what will be the learning of that member will get. Yeah, they will just the only learning that they can get is just how can they urge their team leaders or team members to update their PA and team standard. Yeah, so it is very crucial for you to think when you are planning on the structure law. So yeah, this is how for you can determine the structure for members layer and also director layer for back office. Yes, so another thing is after you all determine a structure, for sure that you all already able to develop a chart. So how can you all develop a chart is the first thing is you all need to duplicate your own LC get spreadsheet. So it's very simple. When you click in here the link, and then it's actually will have a master tool of get. So the things that you need to do is you have to duplicate one, and then you just rename it as your LC name. Yeah, so after you rename it, actually this is how the master of get look like. Yeah, so in this window recruitment, so every of the LC we have the master tool of get, and the master tool of get actually is compound of every resources and every single like the uh, it will be include your talent planning, talent attraction, talent selection, or even talent onboarding resources, and also your data uh, in only one tools, so you all are more easier to know where you want to update. Yeah, so this every LC that will have their respective own LC get master tool, and then we have get process implementation, and then you have this organization chart. Yeah, so after you all already determine the structure, so basically you all will already know how many LCVP you will have, and then yeah, LCVP PM the every of the position you will already have. So the things is you all need to make sure you all fill in this organization chart to have an overview on how your next term organization chart will look like, so you all know how many members that you all are going to recruit afterwards. Yeah, so yes, so we will go back to here. So yeah, create your own get master sheet, and then your chart need to include EB directors and members layer, and fill in the name of the position, and lastly fill in the person name for the position after you done your relocation and MRD recruitment afterwards. Yeah, and then yeah, just now we got tell like I got mentioned that you have to duplicate the structure according to the tiering system, right? So this is very simple. So after you all already duplicate your own master toolkit, the things that you all need to do is just move to your talent planning tools, and then duplicate the tiering that for your each department. For example, KP. So for OGT department, his is in tier 3. Yeah, it's in tier 3. So the things that you need to do is you just have to copy to existing spreadsheet, and you all find your own LC get master sheet, and then and duplicate one master sheet into your tracker. Yeah, so your master sheet of get will be compound of, even though will be compound of each of your department structure as well. Yeah, so it's very simple for you to refer and for you to discuss with your EB as well. Yes, so yeah, so this is the thing, like you need to develop a chart. So after that will be adapt to growth, but for this stage is mainly after you done your relocation and also your MRD recruitment. So if let's say touch wood that you not recruiting enough for members, that or maybe your members is leaving, yeah, he don't want to stay in Azure anymore. So the things that you need to do is you have to restructure of your JDs, and you have to, based on your focus strategy, to determine, to when you are restructure your JD, you have to base on your focus strategy, because you already know that you are lacking of people, so you need to really utilize every people to focus on the important things that they really need to focus in. Yeah, another thing is about members competency is like you have to really evaluate member competency to give them extra role. it's very hard for members that have low competency and then suddenly that need to handle extra role, right? So it will be very burden for them. So you need to do your talent review. You need to have your 9 box so you can know like which member is much more competent than others. Yeah. So yeah, basically this is the four step and the things that you need to do during your talent planning, and I will just summarize in this slide, which is as a LCV PM. So what is the thing that you need to do is you have to go to the education video of talent planning. So and then you also ask your current EB, or even if you have already your elect EB for term 2020, to go to respective function talent planning video in order to align with MC direction. It's very important. And then third thing is ready to synergy with LCP elect and also current EB to plan for next term structure for summer 2020. And also EPMC structure is strictly follow MC talent planning tool and tiering system in order to align with MC direction. And after you all done all these things, you have to duplicate the structure. Excuse me. You have to duplicate the structure according to tiering into your own LC get spreadsheet. Um, After that, you have to concrete the structure for every layer, especially members one. It's like what I told you all just now. There is a thought process that you can follow where you are creating your members JD. Make sure that they're having their own JDs and concrete KPI when you are designing their role. Yeah. So after one last step will be develop your chart with name and of position into your guest master sheet. Yeah, so for this is actually can let you have an overview on how next term structure will look like. Yeah. So basically this is the entire talent planning. Yeah, this video is a little bit lengthy, but I hope you can listen until here, and then if you have any question, just approach me. Yeah, so thank you very much. Bye bye.